Hey friends, this is Wendy with STAMPIN. Today we are making a card with Gina K Designs stamp set called, I think it's called The Lord is My Shepherd. I linked to it on my blog. I do not have an affiliate link with any other stamp company except Stampin' Up. I am still a Stampin' Up demonstrator, so we're going to get into some discussion about that today along with story time. But first, I want to talk to you about what I'm doing here. This is called color swatching. So, probably a lot of you already know what color swatching is, but it is a practice of using markers, watercolors, basically whatever ink medium or pigment medium you want to swatch out colors so that you know what you're going to be using on a project. So, because I am getting back into Copic coloring and I have been gone from it for so long, I feel basically like I'm starting over. Not totally, because I still remember the concept of how the number system works with Copics, but I really didn't want to spend a bunch of time figuring out which colors to use for the colors I wanted to achieve, if that makes sense. So what I did is I went to my friend Kelly Taylor's blog, and she has her list of Copic colors markers that she uses for specific color combos. So if she wants a pink flower, for example, then she would use this color combo that I'm sharing with you right here. And I decided to swatch all of this out so that I could see what a finished product would look like with these colors. I then took my pen and I wrote out the colors so that I would know for future use. If I wanted to use these colors again, then I would have them written out instead of having to go back through this process. Now, here I'm using my different reds, and you'll notice that there's some reds, and then next to it is another red combo that's got orange and yellow in it. So this is what I mean by swatching. I ended up not using this particular swatch that I'm showing you right now. It was just too red and orange for me, and I wanted some more like yellow in there. And so for this particular card, I love this color combo, but just for this particular card, for the look I was going for, this wasn't really going to achieve what I wanted. So then this was another color combo for red that she had on her blog. And so I swatched this out to see how I would like it. And I liked this one better for this specific card. So the stamp set that I'm using, I am brand new to purchasing product that is not Stampin' Up. Will this be a regular thing on my channel? Probably. Not all the time, but it'll just be, hit or miss. So I've been thinking about what to share with you guys as far as explaining where I am creatively and how to kind of explain this to you. So basically just think of me as a card maker, that sells Stampin' Up product. That's what I am. You can still order from me. I am still a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I obviously still need to do this as a business too, in order for me to do it full time and be able to stay home and not have to get an out of the home job. So your orders still mean something to me. You will still receive the exact same level of customer service you always have with my thank you emails, thank you gifts. I still will do card classes. This seems to be a really difficult concept for people to grasp, of that I simply am just making the choice to use other product. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to use Stampin' Up product. And you'll see that here today. We use Stampin' Up cardstock, my Stampin' Up trimmer, bone folder. So part of this for me is sharing too that, Stampin' Up can pair well with other products. So I guess I'm hoping that that comes across appropriately and you understand where I am. And here I am just trying to decide what colors I want to use. In hindsight, I kind of wish I would have gone with maybe a blue flower in addition to the purple and the red. But all in all, the card came out beautiful and I was very happy with my end result. So I'm not going to worry about it too much, if that makes sense. So the thing that I loved about this stamp set is it's actually something I've been asking Stampin' Up! To do for a really long time. And, you know, we have this thing with Stampin' Up! Called the sandbox or suggestion box. And it's basically like you can make suggestions or submit ideas. And one of the ideas I've submitted lots and lots of times is like a really good Bible verse sentiment set. And they just really have never produced one. We've got a pretty one right now called Rejoice in Him that has a few sayings, but they're not necessarily Bible verses. And it's beautiful. I have the set and I'm probably going to use it here soon. But I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there that this is something I've been looking for. I also love really large floral statements. This one I loved in particular because it's got a really nice outline image and I can color it in. So I'm not, my floral, what I like as far as florals is very particular. I don't particularly care for little tiny florals. I don't particularly care for florals that have a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I love something like this where it's bold, graphic lines, not sketchy. I don't like sketchy design. I like really bold, solid line. And then the other thing I love about this is it's kind of already arranged all the flowers for me. So here, obviously, I've sped this video way up because this video was originally an hour long. It took me a full hour to color this card. So I just sped it way up and I'm going to talk you through my coloring. But anyway, so I struggle a little bit with arranging flowers. I always have. It's one of the reasons that florals have always intimidated me is because I just struggle a little with how to arrange them and where they go. So this stamp set really made me happy because everything is arranged for me. I don't have to think about it. I could just stamp it. So here I'm starting out with doing my coloring with my greens and I'm going from lightest to darkest and then I'll go back the other way. I honestly have learned how to color with Copics from Sandy Allnock and Kelly Taylor. Kelly Taylor is part of our vault. She, for those who don't know, the Creative Vault. The Creative Vault is a new subscription program that I've started. It is $14.95 a month. You can get half off your first month with the word vault. There's a link below the video. She is one of our contributors. So she is teaching coloring techniques, ideas, and stuff in our class. I have learned an enormous amount of stuff from her in all of the years I've been watching her. And then I've taken many of Sandy Allnock's Copic coloring classes and I have watched her for years too. So my coloring style is ever evolving because I'm still very much a novice and I'm still learning a lot of things. One of the things I struggle with coloring particularly is leaves. So I'm always a little uncertain about where my shadows should be. So basically I just put them at the bottom of the leaf because I'm like, well, I'm not exactly sure where the shadow should go on this. So the way I color with Copics is to start with my lightest color and then start adding my darker colors one at a time and then go back the other way. So here you can see this is my darkest color. I'm putting it at the base of all of these leaves. And then you'll see that I'll go back in and work back out to my lightest color. This literally just takes time to learn how to do. I'm still not very good at it. I'm learning. So a lot of times it's kind of looks like, well, why are you coloring back over that again and again and again? Well, it's because as you're doing it, you're realizing like, oh, I need more of this mid-tone. Oh, I need more of this lighter color. And you also need a lot of saturation when you use alcohol markers. Alcohol markers are not something that you want to just like put one coat on and then expect blending. It won't happen. The ink has to soak into the fibers of the paper so that it can move and blend. That's how alcohol markers work. So going back over it a few times doesn't hurt it and it's not going to cause an issue. Okay, so now we're going to color the flowers, and I'm again just starting with my lightest color. And the part you didn't see is I actually stopped the camera and I picked out the flowers that I was going to make specific colors. I did this because I wanted kind of like a variety in my bouquet. I didn't want everything to be right on top of each other, so I had to think about like which colors would go where. And then I color my purples, then I color my pink or my reds, I think, and then my pinks. But I do them in groupings because I don't want to have to be going back and forth between colors. And you don't want to let all your ink dry because again, your paper does need to be wet. So one of the things I've learned from Kelly that she talks about all of the time is your shadows, like for flowers specifically, your shadows are going to be where any two objects meet or one object lays on the top of another. So here with these petals, I am making it the darkest where the petal goes on top of the other petal. And it really pushes back that part of the petal and brings the other part forward. Here where you can see I'm like kind of coloring underneath some of the folds is because those petals are folding over on themselves, and so they would be darker underneath the fold. Okay, I'm just going to continue to color and we're going to have some story time. And if I need to jump back to the card, I will. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer questions no matter what they are. I just always ask that you be kind. That's my biggest thing. Be nice. We're all friends here. So moving forward, okay. What's happening? Well, let me share. This week has been crazy. And I feel like I say that on a regular basis, but it really has been. It's been a really weird week. Every single day this week, I've had to remind myself what day it is. I'm like, what day is today? What's happening? Because we have had unprecedented snow in my area. So I live in Northern California, about 45 miles east of Sacramento, and the area I live in gets snow about every 10 years, and it's usually a light dusting. Okay. So the last time we had snow on the ground that stayed for any amount of time was when my daughter was 18 months old. She's 14 now. So it's been a really long time. We had several days of crazy, cold, miserable weather. It's still cold when I'm filming this. It's still miserable, but it's not raining. The sun came out today, which made me incredibly happy. I am a sun seeker. I love the sun. And so, but it's too cold to be outside. I mean, it's freezing. So anyway, all of that is to say they have canceled school where I live all week. And I just got a message that school is canceled again tomorrow. So my daughter has been home all week, bored out of her gourd, and we have been trying to work. Well, my husband just goes to work. I've been trying to work. And then last night she went and stayed the night at her grandmother's house because she just needed to do something different. She asked if a friend could come over tomorrow. I said yes, because basically at this point I'll do anything for her to be staying entertained and not just have her face in her phone constantly. So yeah, we've gotten crazy snow. Friends of ours that live just like, we haven't gotten crazy snow in Plymouth. Let me clarify, right where I live. But friends of ours that live about 35 minutes up the road have 45 feet. Good night, Margaret. 4 feet of snow. So it's pretty bad. Now, here's the thing. Before you leave me a comment and make fun of Californians and say, oh, Californians cancel snow because cancel school because they get a little bit of snow. No, friend. No. Let me explain something to you. Places that get lots and lots and lots of snow in the Midwest and even on the East Coast are flat. Not everywhere. Okay, let me clarify. I'm not saying everywhere, but I am saying this is the reason. I get people who message or comment and say, oh, you cancel school for this little bit of snow. Well, we live in a mountainous area. Not all of California looks like Los Angeles. Okay, I live in Northern California near the Sierra Nevadas. So when we get snow up in the mountains, The roads freeze. They are very hilly, very windy. And we had 4 buses crash. It was last week sometime before all this hit. And they were still trying to have school. And we had 4 buses that crashed. So they learned their lesson. Like, we're not going to push it. We're going to go ahead and let people stay out of school because we don't want people to die. So we have not had school since last Thursday. At the time I'm recording this, it's Wednesday. My daughter she went to school Thursday. She got out 2 hours early from school because of the snow coming in. Friday, they canceled school. Obviously, she was home for the weekend. There was no school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I just got a text there'll be no school tomorrow at the time I'm recording this. So I don't know if she's going to end up going to school on Friday or not. I have no clue at this point. Here, back to the card, I'm just testing out my sentiment to make sure it's going to stamp straight, and then I'm just going to add it here. This sentiment says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and this is a sentiment that spoke deeply to me. We all go through different things in our lives, and I, by no means, I'm going through anything horrible at all. I am just having some changes in me personally, like with my creative stuff, and I'm scared, to be totally honest with you. It's very scary for me. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and stuck strictly to Stampin' Up! For my entire stamping journey, crafting, creating journey, and I've never used other product, purchased other product, and I feel a little bit nervous about it. I feel it's a little bit scary for me because this is how I earn my living. So there is an element of me being afraid that you all are just going to leave me, that you're going to quit watching, you're going to quit purchasing. And so what I'm trying to do right now is just trust the Lord with all my heart. So I thought this was the perfect sentiment. Here I used a gel pen, by the way, to add those little dots to the center of the flowers, which is something I also learned from my friend Kelly. It helps, give a little interest to the center of your card. And so, yeah, I add those because it looks really good, and I added some fun iridescent gems. And then I'm layering this on a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock that's cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I'm going to put it on my card base. And this card will be finished. That's the whole card. I just love how it turned out. I hope you really enjoyed this video of me coloring. And if you have questions, let me know. There is a link to everything over on my blog, the Stampin' Up! Product I use, along with the non-Stampin' Up! Product that I used. And I do not have affiliate links for the non-Stampin' Up! Product. They are just, you can I linked to them so that you could get them if you want them, but I don't make any money off of those, just so that's very, very clear for any demonstrator who's listening and is concerned. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.